Israel. Learn English podcast with Safa Shelley, the world's best language school. Let's go.
ברוכים הבאים לפודקאסט של שפות שלי, בית ספר לאנגלית ושפות נוספות, המוביל בישראל, the number one school in Israel. That's not a self-declaration. That is a fact. How are you, Josh?
I liked your intro. That was very awesome.
All right.
Energy. I'm
Yeah.
good. How are you?
Trying to make it energy. I mean, we're nearing the end of the day. We're recording late today. You still got a few lessons later on, but I'm in a good mood. I'm trying to stay positive.
Me too.
Me too. Always stay positive. לא משנה מה המצב. Welcome to our listeners. ברוכים הבאים. אם זה הפעם ראשונה שאתם מאזינים לפודקאסט שלנו כאן, where have you guys been? Have you guys traveled to Mars on SpaceX? Have you guys, where have you been hiding?
The moon.
The moon. All right. אז אם זה פעם ראשונה שאתם מאזינים לנו, אז שפות שלי, הפודקאסט שלנו כרגע topping the charts, מקום ראשון בספוטיפיי, באייטונס. אם תחפשו לימוד אנגלית, אנחנו מופיעים מקום ראשון. Do you know that, Josh?
Yeah. I didn't know that we were number one. What are some geographic places? What are some cities in the country? We have a lot of listeners.
From Tel Aviv, from all over the country, including the famous Yavne, which is now on the map because of local news. Interesting. But we won't get into that.
We won't get into that.
Okay, we'll leave that for another episode. קודם כל, אני אתן לנו קצת introduction מה אנחנו עושים כאן. אנחנו מתמחים בללמד אנגלית מדוברת בכל הרמות, ברמה מתחילים עד שפתם, כולל אנגלית עסקית, אנגלית אקדמית, אנגלית לפסיכומטרי, או לכל צורך אחר, whatever English you need, including literature, English, אנגלית ספרותית, Shakespeare.
Songwriters too. If you're a songwriter and actor, I've helped people like that in the past as well.
All right, so כמו שאתם שומעים, רוב המורים שלנו כאן, הרבה מהמורים שלנו הם מאמריקה או מאנגליה. אנחנו גם דוברי עברית ברמה יחסית גבוהה. Josh is still working on his English. His Hebrew's pretty good. I mean, it's improving.
אני מנסה.
אתה מנסה, אוקיי.
אני משתפר גם.
הוא משתפר, he's trying. So, צרו איתנו קשר, אם אתם מעוניינים לשמוע פרטים נוספים על הקורסים שלנו כאן, אתם לא רק תענו, אבל אתם סוף סוף תגשימו חלום ותתחילו לדבר אנגלית כמו שצריך, like a native, get in touch, כמו מקומי, צרו איתנו קשר ב-053-550-1976, אנחנו זמינים גם בוואטסאפ, ותשקיעו בעצמכם, וצאו לדרך חדשה מדהימה של להיות an English speaker. Firstly, associate as an English speaker, right? זה אחד החוקים, תזדהה כמו דובר אנגלית. Josh, I want to start off, before we get into today's topic, אנחנו נדבר היום על business English, לשלוט באנגלית עסקית. Before we get into it, כי הרבה אנשים מגיעים אלינו, and they say, I want to do business, אני רוצה לשלוט באנגלית עסקית, they could be doctors, lawyers, מהנדסים, whatever they are, and then you ask them like a basic sentence in English.
What's your name?
No, not that basic, but let's say, let's speak in the past tense or the future tense. You check the grammatical level.
What did you do yesterday?
What did you do yesterday? And they say, yesterday I go to the store, and then immediately you see a mistake from go to went. יש טעות. במקום להגיד go, במקום להגיד yesterday I went, and yesterday I go. ואז אנחנו רואים שיש חור, a fundamental hole. בעצם חור משמעותי מאוד, אפילו בזמנים. אוקיי? So, ואז אומרים, אוקיי, אבל אני בא כי אני רוצה להשתפר בעבודה, להשתפר באנגלית בעבודה ודברים כאלה, אני רק רוצה לדבר.
רק רוצים לקפוץ ששר לטוב.
Speaking, I just want to speak. So you just want to speak. But בוא נחדד את זה שנייה. Let's make this a little bit, let's give this a moment of thinking, okay?
כן.
Give it a minute on our podcast. רק לדבר, it's not a good enough solution, זה לא מספיק. Okay, יש הרבה אנשים עולים חדשים, like yourself, Josh. You've been in Israel not that many years, but a lot of people come here for a lot of years that don't invest in understanding the structure of the language, understanding the grammatical nuances, understanding the overall picture
Of Hebrew.
Yeah. And I say to people that language is like a puzzle. Okay, the דקדוק, זמנים, פעלים, which means the tenses, and the grammar is basically the picture. And the words are the pieces. Okay, what happens if you don't see the picture? You're basically just scrambling with pieces.
Oh, right. That's a very good metaphor, yeah. It's a very good analogy, actually, yeah.
So what we want to do is basically, you got to see the picture. You don't need to memorize the picture by heart, but the picture needs to stay in your mind, in a natural way. And so do we try to do with different types of drills. Do you want to add something on the topic?
Well, I just think that, like you said before, sometimes people just want to jump in. And the way I kind of can also compare it to is like someone that wants to swim but can't, right? I can give you a scuba mask, right, with an oxygen tank, and you will go in the water, you'll sink, and you'll survive, right? You'll be able to get where you need to go, but you're not going to be doing it right now.
Okay.
It's obviously not going to be a fatal mistake. But oftentimes what I tell people who come in that mindset, שבאים עם המצב ראש, שהם פשוט רוצים לקפוץ לתוך השיחה, is like, what do you really want to get out of it? Because בסך הכל אתה רוצה לתקשר, אבל אתה גם רוצה שאנשים יכבדו אותך, יחשוב שאתה כזה, they'll think that you're at the right level and that you're not just putting
Educated.
that you're not just putting pieces together, right? Like the puzzle pieces. So what I really tell people is, listen, how do you want to appear to another person as well, right? Because אנשים שומעים את המבטא שלי וחושבים שזה דווקא חמוד, אבל יש דברים אולי אני לא אגיד זה באופן נכון, ואני מבין שזה לא רק
מקצועי.
זה לא נשמע מקצועי בדיוק. And אני רוצה לעזור לכם להשמיע, לשמוע, תודה, באופן מקצועי. Right?
להישמע. We both made a mistake.
להישמע.
Hebrew is complex.
Okay. Yeah.
We both עולים חדשים. All right, so you want to sound, להישמע מקצועי לפחות, okay? So do yourself a favor, when you contact professionals, especially on our level, ואתם באים למקום מקצועי, שיודעים בדיוק מה הם עושים, תיקחו בחשבון שאנחנו נוביל אתכם בצורה נכונה לדיבור. אתם רוצים לדבר, אנחנו מתמחים בשפה המדוברת, but you need to understand that you need to see the structure. אנחנו מעבירים את זה לא כמו שאתם זוכרים בבית ספר, and boring drills, ואתם נרדמים בשיעור, וכל מיני חוקים שבלבלו אתכם, וזה קשה, וצריך לזכור ולעבוד עם זה. No way. No way, Jose. We do it in a different style, an exciting style, and we also have very unique speaking drills, which combine Hebrew. All right, אז זה מילה לגבי, אוקיי, אתם רוצים ללמוד אנגלית עסקית, אז אנחנו ממליצים לכם, אם אתם לא ברמה מדויקת, קודם כל, fix up the initial structure, לא רק ללמוד את החוקים, בואו נראה את החוקים, ונעבוד על הדיבור, נתכנת אתכם לדבר נכון, ואז אנחנו נגיע לתוצאה שהיא מטורפת. Crazy, dream. All right. בוא נתחיל עם a couple of things for business English, okay? And we're going to talk about first, Josh, some professional phrases.
Yeah.
I want you to run a couple, כי צריך להיות מאוד מנומס כשמדברים בעולם עסקי באנגלית.
מאוד חשוב באנגלית.
Do Americans, do they take politeness seriously?
Well, it depends where you are, תלוי איפה, right? So, from what I understand, New York, the East Coast, they're a bit less centered around manners, right? Mm-hmm. Kind of a little bit more free to go, more closer to Israel, Dafka.
Okay.
Like, with certain things. You get to the Midwest, Chicago, Ohio, Illinois, Wisconsin, their manners mean a lot, and it really, really depends on how you speak as well as your tone and your inflection. And then in the West Coast, there's also manners, but there's a famous saying that if your car breaks down in New York, someone will stop and help you change your tire, but the entire time they're going to tell you how stupid you are, right? They'll make fun of you and be rude to you, בעצם, לא מנומס, but they'll help you. If you're in California, and your car breaks down, people will say, wow, I'm so sorry for you, but they won't help you, right?
Opa.
So there's different notions of manners, and in California, they're a little bit more soft-spoken, but there are still some nuances.
They won't give you a hand.
Maybe I can't make this large generalization, but this is an expression I've heard before. So the first expression that we have with regards to making polite requests is something that I often use. In English, what we want to do is we want to kind of לבנות רווח בינינו והבקשה שלנו, right? The question, right? So what we do is instead of saying, can you, right? Can you help me? We want to make it sound maybe hypothetical, hypotheti. היית יכול אולי לעזור לי. תעזור לי, right? So could you possibly, ואחרי זה what you want, right? So could you possibly help me with this?
With the
homework, right?
Okay.
Could you possibly explain that better, right? Another good way to do things is to show, באמת להראות לבן אדם האחר שאת מדבר איתו, שאת באמת מעריך אותו, right? So we use the word appreciate, right? I would appreciate it, or I appreciate it. I would appreciate it if you could, right, help me. So we have two hypotheticals here. I would, הייתי, מעריך את זה, אם היית יכול, if you could.
Okay.
And The last one that we have is when you have the chance. Another great way of giving agency. מה זה agency? Agency זה מוסד, אבל זה גם כזה שלטון עצמי, כזה, like, היכולת...
It's non-obligatory, כאילו בחירה, like the choice is yours.
Yeah,
When you get a chance, could you please make me a coffee?
exactly.
זה כאילו, אני רוצה קפה, אבל על הדרך, מתי שיש לך זמן, make me one.
מתי שזה נוח לך, exactly.
All right, that's cool. Okay, so that's just a couple of making polite requests. We have tons of amazing stuff to get through. So let's keep the ball rolling. Josh, next thing that you want to share a couple of terms.
Okay, so oftentimes, רוב הזמן, או לא, הרבה זמנים, נכון, אתה נמצא בעבודה, ואתה שומע משהו שאתה כזה לא כזה 100% מסכים איתו. נכון, it's like, I don't know.
לא נראה לי.
That happens.
Yeah, כאילו, אתה לא מסכים, אתה אומר, וואלה, it doesn't seem...
אתה אומר לא נראה לי. חשבתי שאתה אומר לא נראה לי למה שאמרתי, אבל סבבה. So in English, you could say, I disagree, right? Or I don't like that, or something shly. But in a professional setting, especially if you're a new worker or working with people who are from a different culture, you don't want to be straightforward like that, right? What you want to do is try to make things seem as, even though you may feel that something's objective, you need to take a distance from your objectivity and try to make it seem like it's from your perspective, that it's subjective. Now, why do we do this? Because we don't want to insult someone's work. We don't want to insult...
להעליב מישהו.
להעליב, exactly. So we take our opinion and we stress, מדגישים, שזה מה שאנחנו חושבים. לא באמת איך העולם, like...
איך זה אמור להיות.
איך זה אמור להיות, בדיוק. So, what you could say is something like, from my perspective, בתוך הפרספקטיב...
מהמבט שלי.
מהמבט שלי, בדיוק. From my perspective, I think that we could look at the report again and find a better solution. Very
Okay.
good. Thank you. In my experience, right? לפי החוויות...
ניסיון שלי.
בניסיון, לחוויות שלי, right? Which is a good one, right? Because we all have different experiences.
Right.
It seems that is a little bit good. You can say זה נראה לי, right?
It seems off. Seems that it's not correct. It seems that...
well, why? Because we are teetering. אנחנו כזה עומדים על הגדר בין objectivity and subjectivity, right? It seems to me, but it seems to everyone, right? We're not really saying it seems to me, you're saying it seems that, right? זה נראה, לא נראה לי, נראה ש, right? And that difference, that nuance, can be a little bit, it can be interpreted as rude.
Okay, so teetering, you mentioned us with teetering, זה כאילו על הגדר.
על הגדר, להיות כזה בדיוק על
Between, on the fence.
Yes, to teeter.
Okay, so another way to express your opinion professionally would be, you could, which is really polite way of doing it, I'd say the British maybe even do this. If I may offer a suggestion, and you להציע עצה, if I offer a suggestion, I think we should make the podcast longer. What do you guys think?
Well, yeah, that's a quite right in, listeners. So let me add to that though, right? Because this is the Commonwealth way of saying it, right?
Okay.
You were to take that to the Midwest. May I offer a suggestion?
Oh,
right?
okay.
We're even asking the person for permission to give our perspective, even though it's already known. Maybe you're the boss. Maybe you don't need to ask. You still want to show the person that you're talking to that they have a sense of agency or control over something. Now, in a situation where you ask, may I offer a suggestion, and the person says no, then you're in a situation where it's kind of מביך. It's kind of ידוע כבר שהוא יגיד כן לשאלה הזאת.
בדיוק, אתה לוקח כמובן מאליו שבן אדם שאתם עובדים מולו ייתן לכם את הרשות בעצם להגיד את הדעה שלכם. זה מה שזה אומר, may I offer a suggestion, האם אני אוכל, אתם בעצם כאילו מבקשים רשות, כביכול giving agency, no one, not no one, it can happen. Someone is very rude, yeah, but it's very, very rare, כאילו זה ממש, כאילו יוצא דופן ומישהו עוצר אותך ולא נותן לך להביע את הדעה שלך. That is one horrible boss. Well, yeah. There's actually a comedy about a horrible boss. It's pretty funny.
Yeah, I've seen.
Okay, so I think it was Jennifer Aniston or something.
Yes, yeah, Jennifer Aniston was in that. Yeah.
And Barack Obama. No, I'm kidding. Won't get into that.
So, dealing with disagreement.
Yeah, come on.
Ihaskama, right? So, what you want to do is, be straightforward, but also make sure to be polite, right? Oftentimes, it's very good to acknowledge the other person's point of view, right? I see what you mean. אני רואה מה שאתה אומר. ככה זה נשמע, right? אני שומע מה שאתה אומר, אבל אומרים, I see what you mean. However, אבל, right, is a good way to start. Again, it's always good to acknowledge the other person that you're talking with and give a positive to an extent.
It shows empathy, it shows mirroring, it shows, זה כאילו, אתם נותנים מקום לדעה של הצד השני, which is good, okay.
Another one that I like to say is actually not just say, you see what you mean, say, you know what, you're right about something, right? That's a valid point. זה נכון. זה דוגמה או נקודה נכון, אבל, right? You want to then pedal back. And then also implying that it's their perspective, but understanding it, right? I understand your perspective, right?
Okay.
אני מבין את זה. You could even say your perspective is right on A, B, and C, but I would like to give, right? These are all things, again, when it comes to disagreements, you want to be on the same side with the person at the end of the day if you're working together for something, right?
So what would you say if there's a complete complete disagreement? And
Black and white. One person wants vanilla, the other person wants chocolate.
you're right, exactly. What would you say to that?
So
We may have to
just disagree on this, yeah.
agree to disagree.
Agree to disagree, yeah.
Which is a polite way of saying, אנחנו נסכים לא להסכים.
Yeah, and usually in this situation, whoever has more power within the dynamic decides, and you move on from it, right? There's something that you don't really. It basically is saying, I don't want to dwell on this. I don't want. אני רוצה לחשוב על זה, שזה יישב אצלי כמה זמן. בוא נסכים לא להסכים ונמשיך הלאה.
Okay, I've got a nice one now, which I want to get into, שזה בעצם מצבים קשים, איך להתמודד with difficult situations במקום עבודה. זה יכול לקרות מיליון ואחד דברים. לדוגמה, אם אדם מנהל ואחד מהעובדים שלך צריך חופשה ארוכה, או יש לו בעיות אישיות, או המנהל שלך בא אליך ויש בעיה בתוצאות, או כל מיני דברים שקשורים למקום עבודה. So, יש פה, אנחנו נעבור על כמה ביטויים שקשורים להתמודד עם מצבים קשים בעבודה, מורכבים, נקרא זה ככה בעבודה, difficult or complex work situations. מה להגיד, okay? How to address that? Josh, give us one.
תמיד למסר קודם הבנה, right? I understand your concern, but, and then adding, what you feel, right?
But I'll do my best to address them and take it from there.
Yeah. So, I mean, when you say you understand someone's concern, it's not saying, like, אני רואה שזה באמת בעיה אמיתי, זה לא אומר שאני אטפל בזה, זה אומר שאני מבין אותך, right?
Okay. Let's go through a few more, which I'm going to take out quickly because we want to make some ground here, okay? A few that I found useful. One you could say, אתם יכולים גם להגיד במצב שיש לכם אי הבנה או אי הסכמה עם מישהו, let's find a solution that works for both of us. בוא נמצא פתרון שעובד לשנינו. אם יש איזו אי הבנה ביניכם, a misunderstanding between you guys, לדוגמה, you booked a meeting for Monday and then the guy didn't show up, or you guys were supposed to travel the specific date and someone missed the trip for some reason. You could say, לדוגמה, I apologize for the misunderstanding, אני מתנצל לאי הבנה, let's clarify things, בוא נעביר את הדברים, which is also a good one. Josh, what about, can you add another one? Which one more can you see here?
If someone asks for something that you just cannot do, right? You don't want to tell them no. Right?
לא ישר זה לפנים, it's too aggressive.
Very, very. You would say something like, listen, sorry, right? Unfortunately, I can't do that, right? And I'm really sorry. I wish I could, but it's just not possible.
It won't be possible. Maybe at the moment it would be nice.
At the moment, but it depends if you want to give the person hope or not.
I think it's, you agreed, but maybe always good to give some hope. I don't know.
Yeah, well, because sometimes people will
follow up on you.
Well, they'll follow up on it. They'll use it as a way to maneuver the conversation or negotiate, right, their terms. So it depends really on the context and who you're talking to.
אוקיי, מגניב. אוקיי, עכשיו אנחנו עשינו פרק קודם על משא ומתן, about negotiation skills. אנחנו נוסיף עוד כמה ביטויים קצרים, and then we'll move from there. We also have some terms here regarding interviewing yourself, interview questions, שאתם יכולים לשאול גם אם אתם מראיינים מישהו. זה מאוד מאוד נוגע לנשים ואנשים שעובדים ב-HR, in human resource. We have tons of stuff on that. I mean, we've helped so many HR companies. We've had so many students שעובדים ב-HR. זה משאבי אנוש.
We're basically an HR company.
Yeah. So we've done a lot of stuff. I mean, we have tons of material. אני לא בטוח אנחנו נספיק היום. ישנו בערך עוד 15 דקות. before the producer cuts us off. אז בוא ננסה להספיק כמה דברים שאנחנו עושים משא ומתן, ננסה כמה ונתקדם. Responding to offers and counter offers. איך אתה עונה להצעה, אוקיי? או נותן הצעה נגדית. Josh, give us one.
So first of all, you want to, even if depending, doesn't matter what the person says, you want to make them think that they sound okay, or their offer sounds good. You say that sounds reasonable, right?
נשמע הגיוני.
Higioni, right?
Okay.
We would like to, and then you add on to it, right? That sounds reasonable, but I would like to add on to it, right?
Or like to adjust that offer, or like to change it, or like to talk about it, or like
I'd like to discuss the offer. Yeah, I would like to discuss it. Another way to really, again, and this is something in negotiation, I talk about this with often with many students, is basically you want to be on the same side of the person you're negotiating with. You want to sit next to them. You want to say, what can we both benefit from? I want to find a solution for both parties.
Okay. So that's going to be like, all right, give us one that's going to work for both parties here, which would be interesting.
And another way of saying that is we are looking for something, listeners, listen here. We are looking for something that is mutually beneficial, right? We're looking for a mutually beneficial agreement, right? Which is very, very good. זה אומר שזה שווה לשנינו, right?
מעולה. Okay. As let's talk about one second, and we can also say, let's discuss how we can make it work for both sides.
Yes.
בוא נדון שנייה איך אנחנו יכולים לגרום לזה לעבוד לשני הצדדים.
Yes.
או אם אתם רוצים בעצם לדבר עוד פעם על המחיר, אם המחיר הוא בבעיה, בדרך כלל זה, the problem is generally the price, okay?
Yeah, that's
In
always...
negotiation, yeah, it's generally a massive problem. So you want to say, we need to revisit pricing before finalizing. אם זה הולך לכיוון טוב, וכבר התקדמתם יותר עמוק לזה, אבל עדיין המחיר פתוח, so you need to finalize that.
Yes.
All right, so let's push on about closing the deal. אני הולך לרוץ עם כמה דוגמאות, Josh, to make this quick, because we need to wrap up.
We want to לרמז, לרמוז, תודה, שאנחנו שמחים במשהו, as I believe that we're close to an agreement, right? I feel that we're close.
אנחנו קרובים להסכם.
אנחנו קרובים. If we can agree on Aleph or X,
Okay.
then we are ready to move forward, right?
Okay.
We're ready to move forward. Let's put this in writing. I love this idea. Let's get this down in writing. I always use this, right? What you mentioned is a very good idea. Let's make sure that we document this and that it's part of the actual agreement.
ואז זה כאילו, ברגע שאתם אומרים לו, טוב, let's get this in writing, אתם כבר, טוב, ההסכם כבר על השולחן, אנחנו מגיעים להסכם.
100%.
Okay. And I think we found a win-win situation.
Well, win-win. מה זה win-win?
win-win, ניצחון לשני הצדדים. ברגע שאתם עושים משא ומתן, ואתם אומרים למישהו, okay, I think we got a win-win situation. It's a done deal. It's a closed deal, and you would like to close it off politely by saying, we appreciate your time, and look forward to working together, לעבוד ביחד. All right, אני רוצה לתת כמה טיפים גם ל-HR, לאנשים HR שמקשיבים לנו עכשיו. כל מיני דברים שאתם יכולים לענות ברעיון, וגם לשאול את המראיין שלכם. לדוגמה, אם יש לכם מראיין, שאלות שאתם יכולים לשאול, can you tell me more about the team I'd be working with? האם אתם יכולים לספר לי קצת יותר על הצוות שאני אעבוד איתו? What are the main challenges of this role? מה הם אתגרים העיקריים שיהיה לי בתפקיד הזה, שזה שאלה מאוד רצינית, it's a professional way.
How does the company support employee growth, right? What can you offer to the employee שהוא יכול לקדם בזה?
נכון. Okay. What do you enjoy most about working here? ממה אתה נהנה הכי הרבה מלעבוד כאן?
The coffee machines.
And what are the next steps in the hiring process? מה השלב הבא בשלב הגיוס?
כן.
All right. Now, we got a lot of tech, דברים ספציפיים שקשורים לעולם הטכנולוגי, לעולם הפיננסים ובנקים, וגם לתחום ה-healthcare. ג'וש, תן לנו 2-3 משפטים שהם מאוד נפוצים באנגלית עסקית בתחום הטק.
This is a lot of tech jargon. So we need to scale the system to handle increased traffic. So traffic is
just traffic, c'est תנועה.
תנועה, right? But if we're talking about a website, it's how many people are going on the website using it. So we're saying we need to scale up the system, which basically means אנחנו צריכים לבנות את המערכת שיכול להתמודד, להסתדר עם הכמות של האנשים.
עם התנועה. All right, let's do a few more, and this feature enhances user experience. הפיצ'ר הזה, גם בעברית משתמשים גם הרבה היום בתחום הטק פיצ'ר, אתם יודעים מה זה? enhances, זה בעצם משפר את החוויה, the user experience, and you could say as well, for anybody there who's dealing with coding, we're optimizing the code for better experience. אנחנו משפרים את הקוד לחוויית לימוד, לחוויה יותר טובה בלימוד, לחוויה יותר טובה. ג'וש, תן לנו שניים מהירים מ-finance.
So we could say something like the market volatility is affecting investor confidence. Well, I'm going to be honest, I don't know too much about this stuff, but it makes a lot of sense, right? So the volatility,
התנועה בשוק, הוולטיליות,
החסר יציבות
בשוק,
right? בשוק גורם את ה-investors, האנשים שיכולים
מקים את הביטחון של המשקיעים,
יש להם פחות ביטחון.
מערער את הביטחון של המשקיעים. And עוד אופציה יפה, עוד דוגמה יפה, we're seeing strong growth in our portfolio, אנחנו רואים צמיחה מאוד חזקה בתיק שלנו.
And even better,
Okay.
We're forecasting a 10% increase in revenue this quarter. That sounds good.
אנחנו רואים עלייה ב-10, אנחנו צופים עלייה של 10% במחזור ברבעון הזה. עכשיו אני רוצה לציין משהו, יש לנו מורים כאן שבעצם מתמחים גם בכל התחומים האלה. יש לנו מורים שמתמחים גם בתחום הפיננסים, בנקאות, השקעות, גם בעניין של טכנולוגיה, גם בעניין הרפואה. מה שקורה זה שגם אם אתם מגיעים איזה תחום, לדוגמה, you are veterinarian. Okay, how do you say veterinarian? A veterinarian, yeah, it's a hard word in English.
Or a vet, but it would be mixed up with the word veteran. It's just from the army.
A veterinarian, okay, and you, let's say, treat snails, French snails.
Okay. Like SpongeBob.
SpongeBob. And you need specific jargon regarding that. We'll learn it. Yeah. We'll learn it in depth. We'll research it. We'll provide you all the tools, words that you need to succeed in your field. Okay, יש לנו מלא דברים שלא הספקנו, which is disappointing. I want to just...
Next time we'll get to it.
So take it easy, right? We've got a lot of stuff to do. We've got a lot of interesting and fun podcasts lined up for you guys. Thank you for listening, Josh. Thanks for coming on.
Thanks for having me. It was awesome.
Did you enjoy this episode?
I enjoyed it a lot.
I'm happy to see you, dude. Good time spending together. Yeah, podcasts. We spend a lot of hours together.
Yeah, chatting.
And
this is just a snapshot of the conversations that we have.
During the day. We have a lot of interesting and fun conversations, and we're glad to share it with you guys. תודה רבה שהזנתם לנו היום. We'll be back next week. Keep learning, keep growing. Always never give up. Always have faith, and achieve your dreams. All right. Bye-bye.